Okay, we want to welcome Ricardo Solis here from Western Oregon University Admissions. Today he's here to talk about becoming a wolf. So welcome, Ricardo.
Awesome, yeah. Thank you very much, Bill. But hello, everyone. Again, like you said, my name is Ricardo Acevedo. So if you have any questions either during the presentation or after, definitely feel free to connect with me. I am the admissions counselor for Polk County. So if anyone from Dallas High School does have any questions related to Western admissions, some brief financial aid questions, or if you just need help connecting with anyone on our campus, definitely let me know. And I'll be your go-to person up until you fully enroll with us as well. But the goal for today, of course, is we're a college that's right down the road from you guys, so hopefully a lot of this information kind of helps you prepare as you guys are seniors and are maybe weighing in your options. So to kind of start off with a little bit about us, is we're a public four-year university here in Monmouth. Have all of you been on campus before by raise of hands? Okay, I'm assuming everyone has. Here at Western, we have a smaller class sizes. That's what we like to share with students. On average, your class is going to be about 19 students at a time, so very similar than what you see in high school, sometimes even smaller. We have a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So we really like to kind of emphasize the experience that you get at Western is very hands-on, and basically all the attention is on students. So our faculty 100% teach all the classes through the university, just because at larger colleges it's pretty common, not for the professor to teach, but also for the graduate assistants and any TAs to teach as well. So we like to say you're learning from people that have either, let's say, for example, 20 years plus of experience or are very well qualified in that field that they are teaching as well. Western, even though we are a small town, it's a little bit smaller than Dallas. It's a very diverse campus. We always like to highlight that we have about 41% students of color. We really like to point out how we're a very diverse and inclusive campus here in Monmouth. But aside from that, I won't go too in depth, but for anyone who wouldn't know where Western is at, we always like to say we're about 20 minutes from our state capital. For all of you guys who maybe have driven through downtown Salem, you may have seen our additional campus. We do have one there as well, but it's more for the graduate courses like the master's program and the graduate program as well. Here at Western, our total enrollment is right under 4,000 students. So basically, when you compare us to other colleges, we're smaller, but when you compare us to high schools, it's still much larger. So basically, it's small enough where you're gonna know your professor. Your professors will know you by your name. You'll see a lot of students commonly throughout the term. But once graduation comes, it's still big enough where you'll see new people that you didn't maybe have classes with or saw as much throughout your 4 years. So we would like to say very student focused, and these small classes really allow for students to thrive. Little fun fact as well is, since we are one of the 8 public universities, we're actually the oldest one in Oregon, and we became a college 3 years before Oregon became a state. So just a little fun fact as well. In terms of our admissions requirements for all you seniors that are looking at applying at Western this year, first thing we'll look at is your GPA. At Western, we go with your unweighted one, so just kind of keep that in mind. For admissions purposes, we'll exclude AP, IB credits, or any college credits, just to kind of give you an admissions decision. And for that, it's a 2.75 GPA. But of course, any AP credits, IB credits, or college credits will still help you, since all those credits we do accept. You just have to submit us either transcripts or those scores directly to our admissions office. But aside from that, we also look for a C- or better in these core subjects, which is 4 years of language arts, 3 of math. Math is usually the strictest requirement, but we want to make sure students met at least Algebra 2 or a math class that's equivalent to that as well. Aside from that, we also look for 3 years of science, 3 of social science, and then lastly, 2 years of a second language. Sometimes students ask me, hey, I didn't complete the 2-year second language requirement. Usually for that one, we can be pretty flexible with it if you met everything else. But for the most part, we always encourage you to complete those if you can. But if not, once you get to college, you'll still have an opportunity to take second language courses as well, as part of either an elective or for your general education classes as well. Western is also ACT and SAT optional, so we don't require any test scores for admissions as well. If you take them and did great on them, you're more than welcome to add them as just an additional document to your application file. But if not, they won't hurt you or can't really help you if you already met all the requirements, just since we are test score optional as well. If you don't meet one of these requirements, you are asked typically to fill out a personal statement, which is a very short 1-page paper. But for any students that did meet all the requirements, it would just be as simply as applying and submitting your transcript as well without any essays for admission. Do any of you guys have any questions on these requirements? Awesome. Like I said, it's pretty similar to your high school requirements already, but the main difference is we only accept C- and above as a passing credit, whereas a high school typically does accept D as a passing. So just kind of keep that in mind if you have any of those on your transcript. I'll also briefly cover the transfer requirements. So for any student that is looking to transfer over to Western, let's say 2 years later or a year after, Pretty straightforward requirements. For that, we only look for a 2.25 from a transfer student. And in order to be considered a transfer applicant, you have to have over 36 credits if it's a quarterly school, or 24 credits if it's a semester-based school. Now, if you have anything less than those credits, you would just still be considered a high school student with college credits. So we're going to be looking at both your high school transcripts and also your transcript from the community college or any college that you previously attended as well. And then if you are looking at going the transfer route, essentially, we always recommend for a bachelor's degree to start off with the Associates of Arts Oregon Transfer, which is the AAOT, or we have two other options as well. And these just kind of help you ensure that you're going to be a junior standing once you do transfer over to Western. Now, Western does have 4 degree partnership programs with Chemeketa, Clackamas, Lynn Benton, and Mount Hood. The closest one here, of course, to you guys is Chemeketa. So if you did want to attend Chemeketa and Western at the same time, you can do a dual enrollment, although you do have to pick financial aid from one institution. So that's an option that will allow you to do, but obviously apply to both scholarships and financial aid at both schools. At the end of it, you can weigh your options and see which one's better. But let's say Chemeketa has a specific program you want to pursue in terms of like an associate's. Let's say you want to do fire science with them and do criminal justice with Western. You can always dual enroll at the same time and just kind of start working at both those degrees. Or let's say you get 2 free years at Chemeketa and want to take that chance and then transfer over later on to us. That's still a really great option that we have. But for the most part, if any of you are already taking any college credit, and are any of you by chance doing that? Okay, everyone. And so just know, obviously, when you apply to Western, you'll submit your high school transcript. But also at the end of the year, if you do commit to Western, definitely submit those transcripts as well, since all those classes will transfer with you, and they'll just be listed on your transcript, whether it's an elective, general education class, or sometimes even if you took one for a major that you're already looking at. So, yeah. Any questions on any of this? Awesome. All right, and then this is for our out-of-state students, but I leave it up here just because I just want to share an opportunity that we have, which is called National Student Exchange. It's not this one up here, but you guys can't see the map on there, but usually we do have a map of the United States. So Western is part of a National Student Exchange program where only 2 colleges in Oregon are part of. So if you go to Western, that's down the road, you can still get the out-of-state college experience. So if you want to go to any U.S. state like New York, Florida, Texas, California, Hawaii, or any territory like Guam, Puerto Rico, and Canada is listed on there as well. But if you want to study away for 1 year or half a year, you're more than welcome to try out that program that we have at Western. After your first year, you can apply for that. It basically gives you the out-of-state college experience. While you're gone, you still have the same financial aid. You can also still select to pick the same tuition and fees that you're paying at Western. And also, we will work with you in terms of your credits. So whichever college you'll pick, before you leave, we're going to make sure that those credits are transferable back into the program that you're doing in Western. So a really fun, unique opportunity that we have. Like I said, only a few colleges offer it in Oregon. I believe the list is still 2. So something you can kind of consider if you do come to Western and still want to try out that out-of-state experience. Now to our tuition and fees. So you guys are all Oregon residents. So here at Western, if you're paying just for classes and all the fees, on average, you're looking at around $11,514. Right off the bat, we like to say we're one of the more affordable public universities here in the state of Oregon. Typically, we rank about the 2nd most affordable. And then we also have room and board, which is around $12,528, and that includes both your dorm and your meal plan. So obviously that can fluctuate depending on which dorm you pick, and if you pick a smaller or a larger meal plan, those numbers can fluctuate. But if you're living on campus for the entire year, you're looking at around $24,042. But if you do decide to live off campus, since we are so close to your high school year, you can just be looking at around $11,514. So you can either take the option that makes it a lot more affordable to attend a 4-year university, or if you still want to stay close to home but get that full college experience where you're living on campus, and we totally recommend, it's around $24,000 for the year as well. Any questions on our tuition and fees? Awesome, and of course, not all students, about 78% of our students do not pay that full price since they receive some sort of financial aid. One example we have is our merit scholarship. So anyone who is going to be graduating with a GPA higher than a 3.0 will receive anywhere from $1,000 up to $5,000 automatically for Western. So for example, if you have a 3.0, you'll get $1,000. If you have 3.75, you'll get $3,000. And the highest you can reach is if you have a 3.95 or higher, you're going to receive $5,000. This is renewable. So essentially, if you come to Western, you can receive this all 4 years that you're there. You just have to be passing your classes with at least a 2.5 GPA or higher, and you also have to be taking at least a minimum credits, which is about 12 credits per term. But essentially, if you're able to do it in high school, likely you're able to do it in college as well. So these are just kind of requirements that are very doable as well. And then for anyone that does go the transfer route, whether it's a community college or anywhere else, if you do decide to come to Western later on, we have that transfer scholarship as well available For anyone 3.0 to 3.5 gets 1,000, and 3.5 or higher gets you 2,500 as well. Like I said, these are automatic, so for anyone that already applied or is thinking of applying soon, this is something that you'll automatically receive just off that transcript that you send us. But a couple weeks later, from being accepted, you should receive notification of this, or sometimes it's already on your admissions letter. Although we do have other scholarship opportunities, these are two that are more so about who you are as a student. We have two that are actually on the application, so for any of you that are already looking at applying at Western, you'll actually see these two pop up. One is our Diversity Commitment Scholarship. It's for anyone who's diverse culturally, educationally, economically, or if you have any unique talents, interests, experience, so really anything that sets you apart from the majority of students can qualify you for that scholarship. You'll simply select yes or no on the application, and then we'll follow up a couple weeks later with basically a optional essay prompt where it's like 250 words. It's pretty short, but you just kind of share your story, whether you come from a military background, whether you come from a low income, or really anything major that maybe have happened to you when you were younger. Just kind of anything that you can share with us can qualify you for that scholarship. It is a bit competitive, but we give out about 40 on average every year. And then that one is for 6,000 up to 5 years. And then the second one we also offer is our Bilingual Teacher Scholarship. Pretty straightforward. If you're bilingual and want to become a teacher, that one's for 3,000 up to 5 years as well. And for either of these, we always recommend, if you're kind of unsure if you want to apply for them, and you feel like you maybe meet the criteria, definitely select yes. And then later on, you can either decline the scholarship or you can opt out of it, since that's easier than to add it at the end of the year, because these are just on the admissions application. Now, we do have other scholarship opportunities here at Western. Those two are just examples, but we have our Blue General Scholarship form, which is like one form that can enter you into over 200 scholarships. Last year, I think we had about 250, and only students who are accepted can apply for these. They all start at 1,000 and go all the way up to maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. We even have one. It's very competitive, but like our David S. Brody Scholarship covers almost all of tuition, so just kind of another example of some scholarship opportunities that we have. Important deadline for all you seniors this year is our scholarships at Western open on November 1st, and they will be closing March 1st. So that's kind of the timeline that you do have to apply to scholarships. It's a very similar deadline for March 1st with other colleges or maybe even OSAC. So definitely kind of keep that in mind if you do want to apply for those, just because once May 1st comes, that's kind of when a lot of students are already receiving their aid and are committing to colleges. So definitely apply soon if you can. We also lastly have a lot of other department-based scholarships. So depending on if you're in athletics, in a specific major like education, let's say, if you want to go to med school or any certain program, you can also apply for scholarships directly through them. And many times those actually are open a little bit later. Those usually close May 1st in terms of any like major specific or department specific scholarships as well. Now, of course, on top of all these Blue scholarships that I mentioned, students can also receive money from FAFSA, OSAC, from any businesses or local communities, so definitely apply for anything else externally, just since this is only for WU students as well. But definitely kind of keep your options open with that as well. Moving on to our programs, if you guys open up your booklet to the middle page, it's like a white page that lists all our programs. You'll see all the options that we have to offer. Even though I mentioned Western is a smaller college, we have over 60 majors and minors. You're always required to pick a major, and then minors are optional to add if you want to add something that also interests you or just kind of as a secondary area. But we do also have different routes. So you can either do the honors college. It only works for certain majors. I know psychology is one, for example. You can do education, or you can do a pre-professional program. So if you want to pursue a degree in either law school, medicine, be a physician assistant, anything that requires more than a 4-year, we'll also have those pre-professional programs. We'll then have you pick one bachelor degree program. And then your advisor is someone that's making sure you're hitting all the major requirements that you need in terms of entering either the law school or the medical school that you're working towards as well. But aside from that, here at Western, our top 5 most popular programs are number 1, teaching and education. That's like the number 1 thing that we're known for here in the state of Oregon. We also rank one of the top education programs as we graduate the most licensed educators. If you come to Western as well, within the 5 years, you can also get your full licensure. And so you can do the program, get your license to teach, and also do your student teaching. So a really great option that we have. There's about 20 different concentration areas you can pick from. So if you want to be a music teacher, history, dance, math, science, really all the options are wide open for you in terms of becoming a teacher as well. Second most popular program at Western is psychology, very popular for the career choices it can guide you to. Some students that do either law school, med school would pick that, or also students go the traditional route, which is either if they want to pursue a counseling career, or if they want to go into social services. Really, a lot of options are wide open with psychology, and probably why it's our second most popular program. Third, interdisciplinary studies. For any of you who haven't heard what that program is, essentially it's kind of an option that allows you to do 2 focus areas into one. So let's say you want to do education and psychology, but not do 2 separate degrees. That's always a really great option that you can pick from as well. Fourth most popular program at Western is our business and economics program. Under that, there's a couple options you can do, whether it's a major or a concentration, whether it's business administration, accounting, marketing, economics, or there may be one other major area I'm missing, but essentially there's a couple different areas you can focus it on, or just kind of keep it broad as well. Fifth most popular program is our criminal justice program here at Western Oregon. It is nationally recognized, so many students that either want to become a police officer, work in the juvenile justice, or if you even want to do pre-law as well, that's always a really great option for you. Aside from criminal justice, we also have cybercrime investigation enforcement, or minors, in forensic science, forensic anthropology, or forensic psychology. So a lot of great options that you can pick from as well if you're a student in that program. Now, those are all our top 5 options, but I always like to highlight some other ones. For example, our American Sign Language program is pretty unique because only a few schools in the West Coast offer a full ASL degree. So you can do a 5-year option at Western where you do your bachelor's and master's, and at the end of it be an interpreter for ASL. Or you can do a pre-nursing program here with Western, where you do 1 to 2 years of our pre-nursing classes here at WU. And then we're also partnered with OHSU School of Nursing in Monmouth. So they have a satellite campus on our campus, where essentially it's their professors, their equipment, and all that, but you're still here on our here in Monmouth. So it's a really good, unique opportunity that we have. Although if you do that nursing route, just know it's not a guaranteed option, but it definitely does help if you start with Western your first 2 years and then apply for that OHSU School of Nursing in Monmouth. Some benefits is you still stay close to home, and it is a little bit more affordable than it is to move up to Portland, where they have the main OHSU campus as well. So many different unique opportunities that we do have. But do any of you guys have any questions on any specific program that either wondering if Western has or if we don't? Yeah.
I'm noticing that on here it doesn't list theater education. Is that still like a degree that's being offered?
Great question. Yes, so we should still have that because I know we have the music one. I just haven't seen the update on the theater one, but definitely I can check for you after.
Yeah.
But I believe we should still have that option because there's 20 different concentration areas, so I'm assuming it's still there as well. Yeah, great question. If not, we still have theater and we still have education, so definitely should still be an option. Awesome, well thank you for your question. But aside from these, I just kind of highlighted a few, but we have other major stuff which are popular, whether it's like computer science, whether you want to do biology, chemistry, or we also have a great arts program, whether you want to do the arts, that covers music, dance, theater, and art and design, or if you want to do each one individually, you're more than welcome to as well. And we also have a lot of other great options here with you. Now moving on to other stuff outside of what we offer in terms of programs. Here at Western, we like to say since we're in a small town, our student community is very involved throughout the week, and then we can just kind of when they go out to explore all sides of Oregon. But some things you can do as a student here to kind of stay involved and try new stuff is one through arts clubs. Whether you want to be part of the radio, the journalism club, or just like drawing and painting for fun, there's a lot of great ways to get involved that way. We have a lot of great health and wellness organizations. I'm sure many of you have seen our rec center on campus, which has a rock wall and pool, but we also have a lot of other stuff to kind of make sure you're doing well mentally and physically, whether it's our doctors or mental health counselors on campus as well. Then we also have a lot of activism organizations, whether it's Black Student Union, Mecha, Safe Zone, Unidos, just kind of a few to name, whether you're already involved in them in high school or want to try something new, went to get a college, really great way to kind of get involved that way. We also have fraternities and sororities, although it's much different than at a larger college, where Western does not have any fraternity or sorority houses. It's just more on-campus involvement, so students still really build great community that way, and they also connect a lot with other students from other colleges. And then we also have a lot of great academic clubs. So let's say you're doing nursing, it's always really great to join the nursing club where you can get volunteer hours and leadership roles. That way once you're applying to nursing school, that's just kind of another extra thing that you can add on your application and kind of make you stand out as well. Or let's say you're a business student and do the business club. They always have great guest speakers. Sometimes they even give a little bit extra credit if you attend some of those, or just kind of really great ways to find any jobs or internships through those clubs as well, since they take field trips or just kind of connect and let each other know of any job opportunities or careers that they've seen around. Lastly, Western is not religiously affiliated, but we still welcome obviously all the students to practice a religion, whether you want to join one of the ones on campus, or a new one I've seen, for example, is one with our student athletes. They have about 150 students or so participating already. So it's a really great, unique opportunity that you can do in Monmouth without having to attend the general community one. So definitely something that you can also take as that. Now, Western, I mentioned the professors will know you by your name. They'll be very hands-on and give you the attention that you need, but we also do have a lot of other ways that we support you as a student. We have tutoring that you can get for your major specific classes. So if you need help specifically with ASL, with criminal justice, anything like that, you can pick that option, or you can pick tutoring that's more general for like math, writing, and science. That one's usually more of group tutoring sessions, since probably other students are working on similar stuff. Secondly, we also have our professional pathways program. So it's an organization that helps you find a job or internship. A fun event that I liked when I was in college is basically they brought in professionals. So they brought like doctors for students in pre-med, they brought police officers for students that are doing criminal justice, they brought teachers, nurses, people of all different careers. And they let students that are kind of getting ready to graduate basically have conversations with them and just get advice on how to look on their resume, their interviewing skills, and just kind of guiding them, giving them advice on what to basically expect or prepare in terms of getting into that career. Or sometimes they even do field trips as well. I know they took students in the business program or the sports management program up to the Moda Center, and they connected with people that work with either the Blazers, the Timbers, Phoenix Suns, and a few other professional sports. So really great way to kind of network and find other job opportunities, since either a lot of people reach out to us, or we also know of a lot of events going on. So definitely a great way to kind of find your job or internship that way. We also have a really great disability service center. So whether you need a note taker, an accommodation, or if you're already specifically on an educational plan right now, like an IEP, for example, you can also get a very similar support system here at the university. You just have to apply and provide us your proper document, and then we can also put you on a very similar plan here with Western as well. Lastly, we have a really great TRIO support program at WOOC. Whether you're first gen, let's say you're the first in your family to go to college, if you're of low income or have a disability, it's a really great option to be a part of that program. They help you with textbooks, calculators, laptops, all that stuff that you can check out, kind of help you save some money. Or they also pair you up with an advisor, so someone that's going to be there at the college with you for all 4 years, basically making sure you're passing your classes, getting registered. Basically, they can also help you with FAFSA or really anything that you may need help with that's outside of class. It's a really great program to be involved in. Or we also have our, I'm covering this week. We also have our Destination Western program. So in the summer, students that are in that program can also apply for a 2-week-long summer program that allows you to basically take like tests, classes, and just get comfortable with the college and professors, and also you get to basically build community and get comfortable with the university as well. So it just kind of gives you that little head start. That way, once everyone else that's new to the college gets here, you already have some familiarity with it and just kind of feel comfortable as well. So a lot of great ways to find that support system that you need. Also, for any of you that are planning to go to our campus either after winter term or spring term, we do have a new Student Success Center that is opening up. So many of you have probably seen the construction as well. So we're really excited to open that up. And that'll house a few of these departments, like our tutoring, our professional pathways, and disability services center. But that'll also have our new First Gen Center. We're one of the first colleges to have that as well. So that'll host our 3 TRIO programs and just kind of welcome all students who are first gen, since about 50% of our student population identifies as that. In terms of living on campus at Western, since you guys all live in Dallas, you guys will all, of course, have an option to either decide to live on campus or off campus. All you really have to do is basically let our housing department know that you're going to live at home with your parents or legal guardian if you do decide to live off campus. So that's the only one thing we ask for first year students is your first year you have to live either at home or you have to live on campus as well. So definitely something to kind of consider about and weigh in your options. Something that I did since I lived really close to Western and attended there is a term contract. So let's say you want to go to Western and try out dorms basically for 1 term and see if it's worth it for you, whether it's a financial aid or just kind of seeing if that experience is worth it for you. You can always try that out, basically try out fall term, and then if it's for you, extend your stay for the entire year. Or if you're like, hey, I got enough of it, I maybe want to move back home and I don't mind commuting every day, you can also basically move out without having to pay any big fines or breaking like your contract as well. Because essentially everyone that moves in the dorm is signing a lease or a contract lease for a whole year. So that's something that kind of offers you flexibility and a pretty unique option for you guys all as well. Outside of that, what does come in a dorm is a microwave and fridge. It's a little bit smaller than a regular size one, but it's also a little bit bigger than a mini since you're sharing with another roommate, or in some cases, some of the students get their own room as well. So I always let you basically pick your roommate, or if you want the college to pick for you, or we have a thing called My College Roomie. So basically it's like a survey asking you about your preferences on how you want to basically live in your dorm, whether you like to sleep early, or if you want to keep it organized, just kind of all those types of questions. And basically it'll let you kind of speed date where you basically can meet other students either on phone, Zoom, or text and just kind of chat and then see if you guys want to room with each other, or if not, you can just still let the school pick for you as well. So really great opportunity that we do offer. And lastly, something I always like to highlight from the dorms, which I thought was pretty cool, is once I go to Western, is we have a thing called Hulu Res Life movies. So basically it's like Netflix and Hulu, but it has a lot of great movies and shows that you can watch. And it's only for students on campus. So as soon as you live off campus, you get Hulu's access to that. But definitely something that's kind of really fun to kind of check out during any of your breaks or in between classes as well. Do any of you have any questions on the dorms? Awesome. And then for all you who've been there, we have 3 options, which are Heritage, Ackerman, and Landers. They're all unique in their own ways. Ackerman is the newer one, which has live-in community. So essentially, you can live in a hall where students are all the same age as you. I believe we have halls for ASL, education, criminal justice, and it may be psychology, but some years it changes. And then that Ackerman hall does have freshman students and upperclassmen. And then Landers is essentially the biggest size for the lowest price. So it is one of our more affordable dorms, but you get the most space in those. And then Heritage is more of the traditional one. So it has all first-year students. So typically, when I was a student, there was more of the louder one, and just kind of it also has the biggest hall. So best way to kind of meet other students and just kind of build community through there as well. So definitely 3 options that you will have, and you'll rank them 1, 2, 3 if you do apply to Western and apply for a housing as well. But like I said, if you have any questions on that, feel free to let me know. Lastly, I also want to cover something else that a big culture that we have at Western, which is sports. So there's 3 different levels of sports that you can either try out for or show up for. Intramural sports are just kind of ones that you show up and you play games against other students. You don't travel for this one, you're not on a scholarship, it's just kind of playing for fun. Whether you've played a specific sport or not, some examples we have are volleyball, futsal, tennis, badminton. There's always a lot of tournaments that just kind of go on for fun. Second level sports would be club sports. These are pretty similar to high school, where if you want to play a club sport like rugby, lacrosse, soccer, football, anything like that, you can basically try out for one of those teams. And once you're on it, you're practicing 3 times a week and you play other games, but more so just staying here in Oregon against other D1 schools, D3 or NIA schools. And then lastly, we also have our full collegiate sport level. So Western is part of the NCAA Division II. We're the only Division II in the state of Oregon. So if you're playing at this level, you're going to receive athletic scholarships on top of academic scholarships. You'll also get to travel out of state quite a bit since we're the only ones in Oregon. For example, I know last year soccer and volleyball went to Hawaii. Our football conference is tied in with a lot of schools from Texas, so they go over there a lot. So just kind of a few examples to name. But in terms of our full collegiate sports levels, we have baseball, basketball, cross country, football, soccer, volleyball, and then track and field for indoor and outdoor. But if you're one of these sport teams, like I said, you'll receive scholarships and get a great balance of being a student athlete and a student as well. So that essentially kind of wraps up some fun information about Western. So hopefully this helps see yourself as a student here with us. But some key things I want to leave with you guys all, since you guys are all seniors, is our application. This year is available now on the Common App. It is our first year on there, so you're more than welcome to apply on there. Or if you also want to continue applying on our website, we're still available that way. It takes about 15 minutes to fill out our application since we don't have essays required if you met the minimum requirements. And then it is free to apply, so if you're applying through our website, no waiver or anything like that is needed. But on the Common App, you may need a waiver. And then for your transcripts, like we mentioned earlier, we can accept your unofficial ones right now, and at the end of the year, that's when we'll ask for your official ones signed off by the school. But in terms of deadlines, our priority deadline is typically February 1st, but we do offer rolling admissions, so that means you can apply at any point now up until your summer of your senior year. So definitely know we're very flexible in terms of any deadlines, but it's always best to apply early on so you can apply for scholarships opening November 1st. So that's all. So thank you guys very much.